the screen. Uh, Yo, hold on. Let me get this fixed too. Sometimes you gotta do in show adjustments. You know what I'm saying? Everything can't be perfect all the time. Otherwise, there'll be no excitement to life. But yo, what is up? What it do, man? I'm glad to be back, I guess, live streaming with each and every one of you. Now, just to get things straight, I've been gone for the last 2 weeks, and that is because there's nothing really, or for me, there was nothing really to talk about, or I should say, there was nothing that I felt was of need to talk about. There was no really pressing news or any exciting news, and it would have just been me up here talking to you all and just kind of just shooting the shit, and that would have been the opposite of what Tuesday Night Soul Source is. And then when something did actually happen, it kind of happened towards the end of the week, which, I mean, yeah, I could have prepped you for that, but it would have just been that one single thing that we would have been talking about. And for me, that's just no point, man. I know we have fun, just kicking back and shooting the shit and all that kind of stuff. But also at the end of the day, what is a conversation of just me without, some good information. So I mean, that's where I've been. I was also a little sick, and then I also had like a lot of other things that are going on as usual. It is what it is. Man, McDaniel Daryl, salute HGK, man. Salutes to you, Daryl, man. How you been, man? How you been? It's been 2 weeks. How have your 2 weeks been, man? I hope everything has been good, and I hope nothing terrible has happened to kind of put you out of sorts, especially given the current state of affairs. And that's another thing. That is another thing, y'all. So I I got to kind of separate myself from political things that go on, because you pay too much attention to political stuff that's going on, and it is so depressing. I think, like, for right now, that's all that's going on my feed is a bunch of political stuff. And what made it worse was there's a lot of political stuff going on, and I'm not saying that you should not know what's going on in your country to better, um, better enforce what you need, or to put you in a good position, or where you feel like is a good position. But at the same time, like they say, too much of something is a bad thing. And with no real sneaker or anything to come out and you know or to talk about, or anything exciting going on, and just a whole bunch of negative and political and fear mongering and all of that, it gets kind of depressing, you know what I'm saying? And it's just not a good recipe for a good time. But it is freaking freaking it is fucking Friday. So if anybody is not familiar with fucking Friday is just a Friday where we can just go ahead and ramble off anything, catch up on what's been going on, and have a good time without any of the heavy expectations that I put on myself for delivering viable sneaker content news to kind of put you ahead of the game. So we got some things to talk about. Hopefully, other people will come through. I don't really expect it, given the fact that I was gone for like 2 weeks and I didn't say anything about this live, because honestly, I didn't really think I was going to go live today. But as people slowly start rolling in, things will really start to get the pumping as soon as those notifications go out and stuff like that. We'll be good. We'll be no worse for wear. And hold on, as a matter of fact, speaking of, I guess I can put out something. Oh, oh, snap. Bleacher Report Kicks just dropped some information, and I think, hold on, let me go ahead and try and drop and read that really quickly, because they've got some apologetic statements going on and stuff like that. And then I wonder what that's about. But really quickly, let's go ahead and let people know what's good, y'all. It's your boy HG. As you can see, we are live. Say hello to the fam on Fuck It Friday, not Tuesday Night Soul Source, but Fuck It Friday. And we're trying to get the conversation going. There's a lot of things going on that I feel that you should know about. So go ahead and tap in. I know y'all weren't expecting it, but if you got the notifications on, you'll definitely be ready. Boom. And that's how I basically do that. Let's go ahead and post that to the story, and hopefully enough people will see it. But let's see what the world. Let's go ahead and tap in over on the Instagram side of things. Let me find the Instagram window I can pull up and see what Bleacher Report Kicks is talking about, or BR Kicks. I didn't expect this one. This one I did not expect. So let's see. Is that the correct Instagram screen? Let me refresh it. Shout out to Coffee with the Foe, man. Shout out to Coffee with the Foe. If y'all don't know him, he is another sneaker content creator. He covers the GS size. He is a grown man that wears a size 7. Yes, you all heard it right. A adult male who wears a size 7. So he covers the spectrum of shoes from the smaller side of things. And he has a massive collection that dates all the way back as early as the early 2000s. And which is pretty interesting, and pretty lucky for him, because like his sizes are so small that they're cheap. That is no shade. I'm just saying, that's a pretty good predicament to be in certain cases. So let's see what Bleacher Report Kicks is talking about, because this has to do with Cool Kicks, and I wasn't going to talk about Cool Kicks at all because let me take a sip of this drink. This is good. Oh, that's good. But it goes, earlier this month, we shared a picture of Cool Kicks CEO Adele Shams, or Adele Scams. And it said, with text incorrectly characterizing the nature of what the raid was over when he was arrested, based on his booking record, which says he was arrested by the LAPD's what is that, Banco Forgery Unit. I guess if I actually look at the actual post, I'll be able to read it better instead of trying to read it from the screen, but the smaller screen. But he said, by the LAPD's Banco Forgery Unit, we have taken the post down. Here's what we know now, according to a subsequent press release from the Los Angeles Police Department. And this was posted by Bleacher Report Kicks 2 hours ago, so today. So maybe they have something new that I don't even know, but given on this, I highly doubt it. But it says, here's what we know according to a subsequent press release from the Los Angeles Police Department, including here. Shams was arrested by the LAPD Cargo Theft Unit on October 2nd and charged with receiving stolen property. According to the press release, detectives recovered an estimated $500,000 worth of stolen train cargo, including unreleased Nike shoes and clothing. Shams and Cool Kicks denied any wrongdoing shortly after the raid. Cool Kicks said in a statement, also included here, that it purchased and received the merchandise hours before the LAPD operation, and its leadership and staff did not have any knowledge or reason to know the products were stolen. We'd like to clear up that there have been no accusations against Cool Kicks or its CEO, Adele Shams, about counterfeit goods. We apologize to Cool Kicks and Adele Shams for the error. Shout out to Bleacher Report Kicks. But that just kind of, they're late about this because we talked about this 2 weeks ago. But that kind of reinforces what I said earlier about well, not earlier, but that kind of reinforces what I said about 2 weeks ago about just because it was like the Bonco forgery, because Bonco deals in forgery. Just because it was forgery doesn't mean it is categorized as fake. Forgery is just an umbrella statement for a lot of various things. And I don't, you know what? I can't even get frustrated about it, but it is a little bit frustrating because when somebody in my position who doesn't have a large following base, and that's for various reasons, but when somebody like me who doesn't have a large following base like other content creators is telling the truth amidst all the lies, people, brush what content creators like myself say to the side and just automatically go with whoever has the larger following base, just because they have a large following base, and they just like, okay, I got a large following base, so that means everything I say is the truth. And it almost feels like beating a dead horse when I say this, but as I've also shown you all, people with a large following will lie to you just to keep you there or to keep you entertained instead of being real with you. And I don't know if it's because they don't think you can handle the real, or if they just don't really care about you enough to, be real with you. But either way it goes, I mean, it is what it is. I kind of like, it's a double-edged sword. I kind of like being at a smaller sub base because it pushes me. It's always pushed me to deliver the best I can, or be close to the best that I can do. And it's always pushed me to kind of be accountable and better than the larger content creators that just tell you whatever just because, and they don't want to do the actual homework. And then that's going to kind of bleed into something else that I want to talk about a little bit from now. And I want to put this disclaimer out before I actually get to talking about it. I'm going to bring up somebody's content. And what I'm going to talk about is not geared towards them, but it's geared toward what I saw in the comments of their content. So I want to put that out there just for future references, and I'll say it again when I start talking about it. But that's interesting that somebody, I don't know in what kind of regards do we hold Bleacher Report kicks, but the last time I knew, Bleacher Report kicks was held in pretty high regards. I don't know where they fall now, because I've kind of noticed that Bleacher Report kicks has kind of fallen off. But I don't know. Y'all tell me. Is Bleacher Report kicks something that you all even look at or entertain anymore? Because I used to be in the group on the Bleacher Report app. That was one of the reasons why I actually have the Bleacher Report app. And I just kind of, because they've made it so difficult to navigate, I kind of just like left it alone. Let me see. Oh, I can't even hear what they talking about. But anyway, I can't. I don't have time to look at that anyway because I'm here with the fam. But speaking of, fraudulent moves and things like that, and before I transition to that new segment, as far as Cool Kicks stands, I believe that they are still pushing people, trying to figure out more information, trying to get the bigger people, because there was a recent train heist and all of that. I don't know how many train heists that adds up to now. If you know, go ahead and put it down in the chat. I mean, once I dropped all of that big news and I said what I had to say, the information and things like that have kind of gone cold, which is fine. Because it's the investigatory phase. Oh, I got it. I got it. In my mind, I knew what I was gonna say, but I didn't know if I was going to be able to get it out. But yes, it is in the investigatory phase. And, that's when everything is going to go quiet. And then once they really start, gathering all the information from all the context clues and things like that, that's when you'll start hearing more. And then you'll start hearing what's going to happen. And the thing is one of a few things are going to happen with Cool Kicks and Adele Shams. Either he's going to see some kind of time, or he's going to talk his way out of it by various means and methods, or Cool Kicks is going to possibly shut down, or if he can save himself and his business by telling on somebody else, they're going to get away scot-free, and they're going to keep selling shoes and selling stolen stuff. They might lay low for a minute. That's what somebody smart would do. They might lay low for a minute, but and people will continue to fall for that BS and continue to buy. But I mean, that's up to you all. I can't make you do anything you don't want to do. So for me, I would absolutely not. But for you, I can't tell you what to do. Now, speaking of theft and fraud and all kind of other crazy stuff, let's talk about this. And I don't know the full story, so I'm interested to learn as well what the hell is going on. And it involves the NBA. So I'm pretty sure once I said it involves the NBA, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And it says U.S. charges NBA coach and players in gambling scandal. So just in case you don't know what I'm talking about, NBA legend, great head coach Chauncey Billups was arrested by the FBI, along with Terry Rozier, and I don't know who these people are, and Damon Jones. Now I know who Chauncey Billups is. But I kind of know who Terry Rozier is from playing like 2K whatever. Whenever the last time it was I played, but I don't like know much about him. And then Damon Jones. They were arrested by the FBI and accused of being a part of a mob-backed gambling scandal, where they were using NBA players as a front for basically robbing people. And it said more than 30 people were indicted on Thursday in a case involving insider bets on basketball games and poker games rigged by mafia families. And the crazy, and I'll talk about like what I actually think is crazy versus like what I'm really not surprised about, and yada 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 yada. But I just want to get a better understanding so that I can, I guess, properly form an opinion. But it says on March 23rd, what did it say? March 23rd, an NBA player left a game in New Orleans after playing just 10 minutes. His team said the player, Terry Rozier, was experiencing foot discomfort. But according to federal prosecutors, Mr. Rozier's departure was a key moment in an insider trading scheme. Before the game, they say Mr. Rozier had informed his childhood friend, Denario Laster, that he would be exiting the game early so that Mr. Laster and others could bet hundreds of thousands of dollars on his underperformance for the Charlotte Hornets. Good gracious. Can I show more? On Thursday morning, Mr. Rozier was arrested in Orlando, Florida, and charged with wire fraud and money laundering conspiracy. He was one of dozens of people, including Chauncey Billups, the head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers, named in 2 indictments aimed at illegal gambling. The charges spanned the worlds of professional sports, mafia families, and online betting, pairing traditional smoky room card cheating with corruption enabled by today's ubiquitous betting apps and smartphones. Each indictment described schemes that the authorities said defrauded gamblers, once cast doubt on the integrity of the NBA game. This is the insider trading saga for the NBA. Kash Patel, the director of the FBI, said at a news conference on Thursday announcing the charges at the U.S. Attorney's Office in Brooklyn. He was flanked inside the office packed library by Jessica Tisch. Okay. Wow. So I believe this is similar to hashing bets or something like that, whatever it's called. And this is what this is the very same problem that they try to prevent in the NFL, which is why the NFL is so strict on players betting on games. And I don't know if the NBA is this strict on people or if they aren't, but this is why. If they are or if they aren't, this is the exact reason why. So basically, what it like? Is it also like? Could you consider it like points shaving or whatever? But yeah, like a story brought by the New York Times. So shout out to the New York Times for posting this story and allowing me to kind of get an insight on what's going on. The most notable one is Rozier, and apparently he was hitting up a friend saying, "Hey, put this much money," saying that I won't be, meeting a certain point level or whatever, and so that he would be able to oblige that, he leaves the game early, saying that he's having some kind of foot pain. Now, I guess with medical expertise, the FBI, once they arrested him, they figured out he wasn't really going through any kind of pain and that he was basically bullshit. But here's the thing about this. I've talked to a couple of people and I've read throughout social media, the interwebs, where people are actually surprised that something like this is going on. And I'm just sitting back and I'm just like, I know I don't know basketball, but why is this such a surprise to people that this is happening? And I know it's going to sound like I'm kind of, I don't know, being a conspiracy theorist or, trying to take up for a sorry performance or whatever. But the most recent incident where I believe something like this happened was 2016 with the Atlanta Falcons up 28 points to 3. And all of a sudden, the New England Patriots came back and beat Atlanta in the Super Bowl. Okay, yeah, it's funny from an outside standpoint. But if you logically look at it, there are a couple of things that happened that night that would like highly push you to believe that there was some kind of betting scandal going on. So, number one, you're playing the New England Patriots. They have already been known before that time, over a decade, to be cheating. New England Patriots were caught in several cheating scandals. So that's already smoking gun. You've already found the gun right there, or you've already found the bullet. Number two, the offensive play coordinator, the most important person on that field and in that organization, next to the head coach, loses his book bag with the playbook, with the tablet, with the plays in it. They call it the playbook, but it's a tablet now. But he loses his tablet with all the plays in there. And then magically, a few moments before the game actually starts, it just shows up. Nobody says who found it. Nobody says where it was found. It just shows up. That's weird question number 2. That's weird situation number 2. We actually get down to playing time. Atlanta is playing like they've been playing all season, and they're dominating. And the New England Patriots have no answer for what the hell is going on. Everybody's blocking, everybody's catching their assignments, yada, 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 so on and so forth. I believe during this time, a lot of people behind the scenes, mobsters, and a lot of other people who have a lot of money invested in this are working behind the scenes and saying, we let them get to a certain point. Now I'm going to place the largest bet I can at a comeback, because the possibility of a comeback is so freaking unbelievable that anybody would foolishly take that bet. Now, keep in mind, like I said, Atlanta shot up to 28 points. It seemed like New England couldn't get anything going on offense because they couldn't figure out what the defense was doing. And they couldn't get anything going on defense because they couldn't figure out what the offense was doing. So vice versa. All of a sudden, toward the end of the third quarter, or going toward the end of the third quarter, New England starts to gain points. Players on the Falcons start to screw things up. And this is before the big screw up. And all of a sudden, from bricks to kicks, man, what's good, fam? What's good, bricks to kicks? Hey, Bricks. I was waiting for you to show up, and I was waiting for you to comment in the chat, because I don't know if you saw, but over on Reddit, I made you a mod in the sneaker group. I mean, in the legit check group, I made you a mod over there. So I don't know if you saw it or accepted it or whatever. I guess you got to check your chat inbox or whatever, but I did mod you over there. I know it's taking me some time. Sometimes with this stuff, I move a little bit slow, but they start to kind of figure some stuff out, and they start to come back. And then for whatever reason, people start on Atlanta's offense and defense start missing plays and moves that they were not missing before. Now we move up to the part where New England comes back because Robert Alford tried to make that block, and somehow magically, now that was a little different, but somehow magically Wes Welker makes that impossible catch. Atlanta gets the ball back after New England is up by, I think, maybe 1 or 2 points. Atlanta gets the ball back, has time on the clock. They drive down the field. This is where stuff starts to get really sketchy. You got Devontae Freeman. You got Julio Jones. You're in field goal range. All you got to do is run the ball. You don't even have to get – you could have been stopped at the line of scrimmage. and still lined yourself up for I don't know, I think it was Matt Bryant at the time, or maybe, I don't think it was Younghoe Koo, but you still would have been able to line yourself up for a field goal kick. You try and pass it all 4 times, and the last time you pass it with a man wide open and could have gotten you the first down to increase your odds, all of a sudden your running back just happens to miss that blitzer and it happens to knock you out of field goal range. That's when things started to get like iffy, and at that point the game was over with and Atlanta loses the Super Bowl. But I honestly believe that there was a lot going on behind the scenes, and that game was rigged. I mean, it's not the first time that games have been rigged, whether by the mob or somebody else. The mob has rigged tons of games from the beginning of betting and gambling, since the beginning of its time. The mob has had a hand in all of it. That's why, this whole report about mob ties and I guess it's a bit of a surprise that you have like basketball players, but I'm not even surprised about that, because basketball players have been strong-armed and bribed and given offers that they can't refuse for forever and a day to rig games, to kind of either push games in favor of losing or the okay to push games in favor of winning. The mob has been doing this for forever and a day. So that part is not new. I don't know how good of a scout or reputation Chauncey Billups has, so I'm not sure if there's any surprise. Again, Damien, whatever the dude's name is, I don't know how good of a reputation he has. Let me see what his name is so I don't keep butchering this guy. What is his name? Terry Rozier. Okay, I butchered his name. I mixed him up with somebody else, but Terry Rozier, I don't know how good his reputation is with the fan base or whatever. But players' involvement in games being rigged is no surprise to me. The mob rigging games is no surprise to me. One of the things that was a surprise to me is the level of shock or disbelief that people had that this is still going on. Look at who our president is. Look at how he's rigging things going on within our own country. Look at what the Rothschilds have been doing over the last 100 or so years. Bill Gates. I mean, everywhere you turn, there is a mob organization involved. What is the saying about police? Police are one of the biggest organized crime gangs in the United States. So I don't understand why anybody would be surprised that mobs are still around and relevant. They're even relevant in the hip hop community. Murder Inc., Cash Money, Lil Durk, all those people, they're involved with gang and mob activities. You can call it what you want, a gang members, but gang members is just another term for mobs and stuff like that, mobsters or whatever you want to call it. But the only thing I can think of is we've become so desensitized to mobs and gangs that we just ignore them. We just flat out ignore their existence. And I don't know if that is a cause for alarm or what. That might have actually been how we ended up with the type of person running the country that we have now, because people have been so desensitized to things that we should be offended by, and offended by things that we shouldn't be offended by, that everybody is all fucked up. They're all screwed up in the mind and don't know whether to wipe their watch or wind their ass, as my dad used to say. But it's just weird at that part. The thing that I find strikingly weird is, why did the FBI decide to step in now? And I mean, I don't know how many people are, familiar with conspiracy theories or even into stuff like that, but a lot of gang members and mobs and stuff like that have been allowed to operate over the years under the contention that they pay off the people that are in charge, i.e., police officers and things like that. So as long as they were breaking bread with the law was going to allow them to continue with their, I guess, illegal activities. So somebody, in my opinion, did not pay the piper, which is why the piper came a playing, or the piper came a calling, however you want to put it. But somebody must not have paid off their debts, which is why this is a thing. And I don't know if it were the NBA players that didn't do what they were supposed to do, or if it were the individual mobsters that didn't do what they were supposed to be doing. But somebody didn't pay their dues, and now, somebody got to take the hit. And it's usually going to be individuals in the spotlight. It's usually not going to be somebody that's sitting back behind the scenes. So, I mean, it is what it is. I wish the best and hope for, a positive outcome, but this is one of those things that's just not a surprise to me. And maybe it should be, or maybe, we gotta start getting real. And I know for some of y'all that are watching, y'all might be like, what in the world is HG doing? So my shoulder is killing me right now, and I got this. I'm taking these pads and I'm putting them on my shoulder. I got a TENS machine, and what it does, if you don't know what a TENS machine is, it feeds electrical current to certain spots where I feel pain, and it kind of helps break up any kind of what you call it, any kind of hard scar tissue. That's what I'm trying to say. It helps break up the scar tissue. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm not. I promise you. It looks weird, but I actually, it's not that kind of party. From Bricks the Kick said, George Carlin should have ran for president, to be honest. I don't know who should have ran for president, but it would have been better. I believe anybody would have been better than the current situation. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. Bro would have killed the game. I don't even know who George Carlin is. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I don't know who George Carlin is. I'll look it up. But for right now, I'll take your word for it. But that's that with the NBA. And that is just one of those situations where I'm just like, what the hell? What the hell is going on? And what the hell have we gotten ourselves into? Now let's go ahead and get that out of here. I want to talk about this one. And this might come as a surprise to a lot of y'all, and to some of y'all, it might not be a surprise. To me, it definitely was a surprise, and for some people, I saw that it was a surprise as well. Nike actually did something right, or we would like to believe that Nike actually did something right. They actually did their job. What is it that I'm talking about? So, 2 days ago, Nike had a shock drop release of the Grateful Dead Air Max 90, celebrating their long history with the Grateful Dead band. And I didn't know the shock drop was happening. I didn't know these shoes were supposed to release. And then, like, I read somewhere that they were to be releasing today, the 24th, after the initial shock drop. But I'm starting to think that that's not the case. I'm starting to think that the actual shock drop was the actual release. And if that is the case, even though I did not hit for a pair, if Nike and Jordan, well, this ain't even Jordan brand, but if Nike and the sneakers app actually did something right this time after a damn near decade of us knowing about shock drops, if they actually did this right this time, I have to give a round of applause and say kudos to you, Nike, for doing a good job when it comes to that. And from Bricks to Kick said, trust me, nothing surprises me. I can still be surprised and stuff like that, but I mean, yeah, you know, I just it's just when it came to that situation, I most definitely was not surprised. It did not make me gasp or clutch my pearls. But here's a look at the Air Max 90 Grateful Deads. Now, to be honest, as I said when I first turned the computer on and crunk this live on, or crunk this live up, there hasn't been really much to talk about. An air of like something extremely exciting. No, this is not extremely exciting. It's nothing to like go crazy for. My good friend Vlogging with Demetrius was asking me about these and was like, would you pay resale for the Grateful Dead Air Max 90s, or did you feel as if, you know, resale is worth it? And I asked him, I said, how much is resale? And he told me resale right now in a size 10, which I can't wear a size 10 in Air Maxes. I got to go up half a size because it's narrow in the toe, but was around $280. No, my smoke detector didn't go off. That was me burping. But what you call it? $280. And I think the Grateful Dead's retail was like $130. No, this is not worth a $280 resale price. I think if I paid resale for these Air Max 90, and is that Donald Duck? Okay, I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be the Oregon Duck. But why does the Oregon Duck look like Donald Duck? The mud guard is cool. I mean, nothing crazy. It's not even a denim. It's a canvas tie-dyed mud guard that wraps around the shoe. You got a fuzzy Nike swoosh, which is par for course with the Grateful Dead. They always have to incorporate something fuzzy. You got the colorful stitching around the toe box, around the lace loops or lace eyelets on the tongue tag. You've got the Grateful Dead emblem on the heel. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool right there. And then you got it on the back of the tongue. But I mean, nothing that screams to me, in my opinion, I have to have it. What did you all think about the Air Max 90 Grateful Deads? Did you know they were dropping? And if you knew they were dropping, was it something you feel like you had to have, or what? I mean, because possible hype aside, it wasn't that impressive to me. But like again, it is a nice shoe. It's okay, but it is what it is. He said, Brixie Kick said, this to me seems like they're trying to make more money off of a collab than that no one got when it first came out. It does feel like that. So basically, I'm guessing what you're trying to say is, compared to all the other Grateful Dead, like the Dunks, and I think they did something, the Grateful Dead did something else, but basically compared to everything else that Nike has done with Grateful Dead, this feels kind of lazy. It feels like it ain't like they just didn't give a shit and they just kind of put something together. It feels lacking. And to me, I'll say that to me.
Don't get mad at me, nigga. I'm here.
Look, I don't want no problems with nobody. I don't want no problems. I don't want to beef with nobody. I don't want drama. I don't want smoke with.
But to me, I have to agree. This just does not seem. And like I said earlier, a couple of weeks ago, sneaker collecting is, I don't know if I actually talked about whether or not I think the sneaker game is dead or not. Did we talk about did I talk about that with y'all? Did I talk about whether I thought the sneaker game was dead or not? But in my opinion, sneakers this year. I didn't talk about whether or not I thought sneaker collecting is dead as a whole, but I did speak with Retro Rick from Retro Rick and Maddie's Kicks on his live. I did talk about how boring 2025 has been in terms of sneakers. Now, like, if you all weren't there, because it was on Instagram, if I remember correctly, it was on Instagram. But 2025 has been extremely boring when it comes to sneaker releases. And I know a lot of y'all might be saying, blasphemy. Like, how in the hell can you say sneaker collecting has been boring in 2025 when we got so many OGs and stuff like that? Well, like I was explaining to Rick, and like I was explaining to Retro, how many of the releases this year do you actually remember? How many of the releases this year did you actually get extremely excited for and are still excited and glad that you have it? So, like an example, what dropped this year? I think Rick mentioned to me that the Jordan 4 SB Navies dropped this year. And I'm like, okay, yeah, they dropped this year, but I mean, it's the SB Navies. Nobody really got excited about it. Okay, so then let's talk about a shoe that people did get excited for. And I mean, people are still talking about it. So this is one for your count. The undefeated Jordan 4s. The undefeated Jordan 4 was a release that everybody was looking for, solely based on the hype and the fact that back when these released, and hold on, let me stop sprinkling up these doggone paper. The postcard and the receipt back in there, but the Undefeated Fours was one of those releases that were solely based upon the fact that back when those released, there were only something crazy like 75 pairs. And the resale price for those 75 pairs was extremely, insanely, ridiculously high. So yeah, people are gonna get excited about that. We got the brick by bricks. Yeah, people are excited about that. What else? What else dropped this year? Chat, what else dropped this year? But outside of collabs, so if you take collabs out, and also we've had very few collabs or good collabs this year, because of course we got the Union LA, Jordan 1, Shadow, Chicago, whatever that colorway is, but nobody was really excited about that, including myself, and I have them. They're a good shoe, but beyond them just being a good shoe, that's basically all it is. And you can kind of look at the resale market, and I know we don't like to use resale to, give too much credit to it. But if you look at the resale market kind of tells you that like those aren't what people really wanted. That those felt like Union LA had fallen off, and they tried to do what they should have done in the first place, which was stick with the Jordan 1s and then transition to other things. They tried to go back to the Jordan 1s to build hype, and it just didn't work. It actually had the opposite effect for Union LA. It kind of was like, okay, we see your desperation. Chill out. So other than collabs, other than those like 3 mentioned collabs, we really hadn't had well, no, I didn't say nobody was excited about nobody. That's what I'm saying. Like nobody was really excited. Well, I mean, like, and see, this is what happened when you come in late. This is what happens when you come in late. And I sent you the link, so I don't know if you saw the link or not. But this is what happens when you show up late. So what I was saying is, as far as sneaker releases, when you compare them to previous years, 2025 has been lackluster as far as sneaker releases, but that's just my opinion. We got the I didn't think you look. Hold on. Don't be asking me no crazy stuff. I said I think they had a fall off, and when I come in late, you just not saying something. You just not saying something. So it seemed like you came in late. So I don't know if you heard what I was saying or not. That's my bad. I don't know. I just assume, but they say when they say you assume, I didn't see the link, LOL. But I think 25 went brazen. I don't know. I don't know. I don't see that. And I just don't see where 25 went crazy. So we got the if you take out the collabs, let's eliminate some of the collabs. And even if you want to add some of the collabs, how many good collabs would you say? Because I know you extend outside of Nike and Adidas, and you keep up with a little bit more than you keep up with a lot more than I do. So yeah, it would really help if you were here. How many good collabs did we actually get? Now I know you'll say something like, what is his name? J Tips. I think that's his name. I hate to butcher it. I hate to butcher it. But and some I don't again like I just I don't know, man. So we had the bread 85s, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. We had the I'm trying to look around the room so I can see. I We had the Lost and Found UNCs. We had the Fire Red 5 Black Tongue. We had what else? What else? It's something else that I feel like I'm forgetting. And y'all just keep in mind, this is only coming from my experience. That's why I ask y'all. But from my experience and from my opinion, like 2025 wasn't as exciting as other years. Like there were a lot of shoes that I could pass on, and I did pass on, and I was comfortable passing on. Did we get the white cement fours this year? Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me check this tag real quick. Oh, let me check this tag real quick. No, the cement fours was 2024. Okay, so he said without collabs, we had breads, shattered back, the shattered backboards, the black toe ones. Okay, so we got the black toe ones, we got the metallic and fire red 5s. And see, that's another thing. I wasn't a fan of the metallic 5s. I wasn't a fan. I'm not a fan of this year's metallic 5s. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why I'm not a fan of this year's metallic 5s. Because they have been giving us OG stuff. They've been giving us OG or more true to OG. And that's what they started the year out telling us that's what we were going to get. And for whatever reason, you give us a reimagined metallic 5. That just didn't make sense to me. And I'm not a fan of all the 3M all over the place. It's not a true to OG. And for me, it takes the term metallic 5 too little. So I mean, I'm glad that a lot of people enjoyed that shoe. I'm glad that it brought a lot of young kids back to sneaker collecting and to Jordan collecting hobby. But the metallic 5s, I don't count the metallic 5s. But again, that's just me. Hella 4s, yeah, we got hella 4s, but that don't mean nothing. Like you can get hella women thrown in your direction, but out of all the women thrown in your direction, that don't mean that every single one of them is gonna be good. The rare Air 4s are okay, are nice. I like the materials on there. Like I said, we got the Cave Stones; those are okay. What other 4s did we get? We got the Aqua 8s, the Steel 10. I don't like 10s. Okay. Well, why my shit say 2024 in here? I mean, I guess the production date, that because that's the production date. But were they supposed to drop in 2024 and they pushed them back into early 2025? I think that might have been what it was. But okay, so we got the white cements. That's a great one. That's one that I view as a great one. The bread, it would be great if everybody had an opportunity for it. It would be great if a lot more than 10,000 people had an opportunity to get them. So that's why I don't count the breads. But flu games, okay, we got the flu games. The up and coming taxis, yeah, but and I'm going to talk about that too. Black toe 14s, etc. We got the black toes this year. I don't even remember us getting the black toes this year, but I do know I have them somewhere. I do have the black toes somewhere in here. And this is another problem I have. without having what is it? Without having drop fronts. So if y'all want to donate to help me get some drop fronts so I can have them up and I don't have this problem when I'm talking to y'all, hey, please feel free. But if you don't, I'm okay. The white cement fours were definitely this year. Reimagined metallic fives are greater than most of the versions of that shoe. Best, they ain't better than the 2016 metallic fives, especially. So I don't care if it has a better looking toe box. A better looking toe box doesn't make it a metallic five. A better looking toe box alone does not make it a metallic five. Because even back when the metallic fives first released, they couldn't, get the shoe looking good. So I kind of don't really necessarily hype up a shape. The 2016s actually look like metallic fives, regardless of the toe shape. Regardless of the toe shape, the 2016s look like metallic fives. And in 2016, people were going crazy for those metallic fives. Fast forward 9 years, 2025, and you get a good shape, but you just get a black five. It's got 3M piping all through it. It doesn't have the Nike Air stitched. The Nike Air is a 3M embossed stamp. That's not a metallic five. That's a reimagined metallic five. Do not sell me something as an OG or true to OG form and give me something reimagined. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. So the metallic fives is not. Respect you in your opinion for sure, but you are the only person I've heard say this year wasn't a hit. No, I've a lot of people have said 2025 was not that great. But I believe the problem is you won't hear a lot of people saying that to you in particular, or maybe I don't know. You won't hear a lot of people saying that to you possibly because they're afraid to go against the grain, or they're afraid to be themselves, which is that's fine. That's fine. But everything is an opinion, and the only difference between my opinion and anybody else's opinion is I'm not afraid to state my opinion, even if it goes against the populace. So, I mean, hey, it is what it is. But a lot of these OGs, yes, a lot of these OGs you mentioned are great. But look at how they did the OGs. If you want to go by the selling and numbers game as far as how quickly they sold out, then that is another telltale sign that people did not gravitate to them as much as they would have in previous years. And in my opinion, again, that has a lot to do with Nike and Jordan Brand for the way that they decided to do these releases. So it is what it is, but I mean, that's what's going on. The official Wild Boy SK said, yo, what's going on? What's going on, Wild Boy, man? He said the 2015 5 shape was ass in comparison. But how many other Jordan shoes or shoes in general where you would say the shape is ass, but you still like it regardless? So I mean, just because you might think the shape is ass does not mean that the shoe is not good. You know what I'm saying? Because before a lot of people even thought or knew that they were going to possibly get a more dynamic shape, they were happy with it. They were happy with the old shape. So I mean, yeah, hey, I'm just saying. I don't even fuck with that pair after receiving the reimagines. But that's what I'm saying. You did fuck with that pair though. That's the crazy part. You did fuck with that pair, and you were okay with that pair up until the new shape came out. You were happy with the shape until you had an opportunity to know that they were going to give you a new shape. But if you're trying to hit every single criteria, and I keep going back to the point where they said that they were going to give us true to OG in 2025. They said they were going to give us true to OG. And that was their biggest drawing point. If you're going to give me true to OG, don't give me Reimagine, especially with a classic like the Metallic Fives. Don't give me Reimagine, give me true to OG. It's the same thing. It's the same thought process and the concept with when they did the Royal with the Royal Jordan 1 highs. They were dropping the Royal Jordan 1 highs, but they switched it to OG, and they switched it to Reimagine, and everybody was pissed off. So I mean, it's the same thing with the Metallic Fives. I just got to be consistent about it. Let's see. He said, I challenge you to look at those shoes together. LOL. The only downside is the stitching of the Nike Air and the fact that it's called Reimagine should tell buyers it's not an OG. But again, it wasn't advertised as Reimagine. It was advertised as true to OG. In 2024, they were saying that we were going to get true to OG shoes in 2025. They said that they were going to start doing true to OG because they were getting away from Reimagine because of the fact of the Royals, as a matter of fact. And the Reimagines, some of them were good, some of them were bad. They were getting mixed reviews on it, but they were telling us that they were dropping true to OG in 2025. And with the color code for the Metallic Fives, of course, being a Metallic Five color code, it says that's like disliking the Reimagined 4s because it's not OG material. It's called Reimagine, so I wouldn't expect it. That's like disliking the Reimagined 4s because it's not OG. And you know what? Some people did express the fact that they preferred the OG suede bread 4s over the Reimagined leather bread 4s. I mean, so people did have that opinion. People did have that expression. And the only thing I could say is, okay, that is how you feel. I can't fault you for that. I cannot fault you or tell you you're wrong for how you feel about or how you perceive something versus something else. So I mean, people did say that. Now, me in particular, I didn't say that. I absolutely liked the Reimagined bread 4s, and on top of that, we knew that they were going to be reimagined. We didn't know that the Metallic Fives were going to be reimagined until much later, until I think maybe like a month away from the actual release time. So, I mean, they say we accepted those older molds because we didn't have a choice. That's why we were happy. Okay, well, if you accepted the older mode because you didn't have a choice, that goes into the point of we make fun of hype beast. We make fun of hype beast, or what we call hype beast, because they were only, we make fun of them, we talk bad about them because they were only into the hobby for the money. This statement right here goes along the lines of, you didn't really like the shoe, but you bought it anyway. You know how crazy that sounds? It's crazy to buy something that you don't really like just because you fear you may not have access to a better option. That's crazy. So that with that statement, people who do that are buying things under false pretenses, and they're telling themselves that they like it. And then as soon as something better comes along, you're like, oh well, this was shit, and it's always been shit. But before something better came along, you were whistling, oh man, I love these. It's the best thing ever. That's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. That's a little bit counterintuitive to what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be buying what we like. And that's what we preach. Buying what we like and not what we force ourselves to like. You know what I'm saying? We fuck with those pairs because it was those, or an expensive crumbly ass pair on eBay or Flight Club. That's even crazier. That's even crazier. If my choice is a pair of crumbled up shoes that I like, that I can't get any use out of, or buying a pair of shoes that look like the crumbled up shoes and I don't like them, I'm not buying either one of them. I'm not going to buy either one of them. Now, of course, if you want to challenge me on that, there are nuances as to when I will buy stuff that I know I don't like, just to give it an opportunity to see if I do like it. And that's more stupidity than actual well, it's stupidity, and it's also tied in giving things a chance, and there's levels to that too. But just to buy something because it's close to what you want, but you don't really like it, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. And when did they say Reimagine Metallics would be true to OG? No one said that for those. They said that about Fire Reds, and voila, they delivered. No, they said a lot of releases were in 2025 were going to be true to OG. As a matter of fact, that's how we got the Bread 85s. That's how we got the White Cement 4s that were true to OG, or close to being true to OG. That's why we got the and you reminded me of these. That's how we got the flu games that are supposed to be true to OG. They said that 2025's releases were going to be true to OG. So, that's where that thought process came from. They had no mention of doing Reimagined in 2025, and voila, they hit us with some Reimagined stuff, i.e. the UNCs and the Metallic Fives, and I'm pretty sure something else. I don't remember. I don't really pay attention to that right now. No. They said that officially was supposed to be happening. The official Wild Boy SK said, "How was your week?" Well, shit. My week has been exhausting, but good nonetheless. Actually, my 2 weeks have been exhausting, but good nonetheless, because it's been 2 weeks since we chatted up. It's been 2 weeks since we had a conversation or spoke about anything. Did I cop anything? I don't think I did. I don't think let me see. And I know Giganator is probably gonna have to help me on this one, because Giganator and somebody else is usually good with remembering when actual release dates are, but I think the last shoe I picked up was the Air Jordan 4 Cave Stones. I think that was the very last pickup I've had. And before that, it was the Undefeated Fours. So there's been a couple of weeks, maybe a month, maybe almost 2 months, where I had 2 months total where I hadn't picked up anything in the last, I would say, maybe 2 or 3 months. So for me, I haven't really copped anything. My wallet has been loving it for the most part, but I have been feeding into my other hobbies. I've been buying like model kits and stuff like that like crazy, man. I know, nerdy or whatever. But I've been feeding into that like crazy. Not as expensive as shoes, but it gets there. But I hadn't copped anything. This was an expensive week for me. Copped the Ja Morants, the Housefly Air Maxes, the Action Bronson Supreme Racing Jersey, and the Thermals. That's a lot. That's a lot. And we're talking about the Halloween Ja Morants, the green joints. I like those. And then I saw Mike Rich's video where he showed some chocolate colored Ja Morants that comes with a popcorn bucket. If you get it from Foot Locker, you buy those Jaws and you get a popcorn bucket with it. The Housefly Air Maxes. Is that like the Housefly Air Force Ones? And yeah, the Air Max 95s, I believe is what it is, right? Those are interesting, but I don't get them. I don't get them. I almost bought those, but I was like, I don't understand I guess it's a collab. I don't understand the collab or the design element or the reason behind flies being all over on a shoe. Because when I saw flies all on a shoe, I always think about the saying that I would hear adults say, like, I'm gonna be all on you like flies on shit. And yeah, so like I always correlate flies being on stuff to, shit or rotted stuff or terrible stuff. So but I don't know, like from an objective standpoint, they're not terrible. They're just different, and I'm not sure. Supreme, I didn't know people were still like leaning into Supreme like that. That's pretty cool. I have never owned anything Supreme. I thought about buying some Supreme stuff, but like the Supreme Grinch lawn ornament, the light up lawn ornament, I thought about buying that. I thought about buying the Supreme Gundam model kit and the Supreme Optimus Prime. But other than that, like I have never really thought about feeding into Supreme products, because to me, like Supreme has been and always will be overhyped, because you don't really get good quality the majority of the time, in my opinion. And of course, I don't know. You all have to tell me, because like I said, I've never owned a Supreme product. But from stuff like their t-shirts, like the Supreme t-shirts are like basic Hanes tees. So from that perspective alone, you haven't always been able to get like good quality from Supreme, but you're paying as if you're getting like mid-tier quality products. So I don't know, but hey, that's dope, man. They're dope and expensive. I copped the Housefly since I be fly. Hey, that's a good reason. I took an L on all the Grateful Dead raffles, and I ain't hear nothing about the shock drop. Shit pissed me off, because it was in the morning lives that day, and I didn't hear anything. Okay, so Nike did their job with that. They did their job. The shock drop was an actual surprise, and I mean, yeah, Nike, you get another round of applause for surprising the hell out of everybody and dropping the Grateful Deads. But at $280 resale, they're not worth that to me. I don't know if they're worth $280 to y'all, but I just can't do $280 for Air Max 90 Grateful Deads, or very few Air Max 90s in general, I would say. Now let's go ahead and get that out the way. Let me see what this is. Get that out of the way, because that's over and done with. And I don't know if they are actually doing another release because it was rumored that another release was going to be today, but it didn't happen. So let's go ahead and get that off the screen. Let's talk about some shit that blew my mind. And maybe y'all know about this more than I do. It is, let me see if I can find it. Where is it? Asaline, from a company called Asaline. Now, I don't know who they are. But I guess they sell books, and I guess they sell expensive books because the Book of Hov is selling for $2,000. Cubist Bookends, $700. Richard Mille, a $1,400 book. Jordan, it says, this is not a book about the game of basketball. Instead, it's a celebration of 40 years of greatness. And this one right here is how much is this damn book? So Asaline is doing a pre-order for this book. This book, the Ultimate Edition, we're gonna go to, because this is the one that really blew my mind. They got a nice little movie, a little cinematic movie about it. This book right here is being sold for $2,300. Now, I don't know what the hell is in this book for $2,300. I don't want to know what's in this book for $2,300 because unless it is the original Bible that's wrapped in the Shroud of Turin, or has a DNA sample of Jesus Christ himself, there is no way I'm paying $2,300 for a book. And apparently there's only going to be 1,000 copies. And apparently for this to still be available, not very many people, not even 1,000 people will pay $2,300 for this book. Let me see if this explains what's in here. So this box right here, the black portion is just a box cover. So it says Asaline celebrates 40 years of Air Jordan with a landmark ultimate volume created in collaboration with Michael Jordan and the Jordan brand. This collector's piece honors the enduring influence of Michael Jordan and the brand that reshaped sports, style, business, and culture worldwide. Now, one thing that I did hear about this that somebody said, I don't know if it were, I don't know who it was, but one thing I did hear about this book that somebody said was disappointing was that instead of using images, because it's got like some of the greatest shoes, it's got like the breads in there, and I'm pretty sure some other staple silhouettes. Instead of using original images of original silhouettes that came out when they first came out, I heard that they had photos of the retros and the remakes, so people were not happy with that. For $2,300, they would have preferred to see the crumbled, torn apart, degraded pairs of shoes in the book. But it says limited to 1,000 hand-numbered copies. The Ultimate Edition is crafted with a host of bespoke details, encased in an intricately tooled leather clamshell. The cover features Baroque-inspired embossing drawn from the laser graphics of the Air Jordan, 20? A raised Air Jordan logo is prominently set on the front and spine, reinforcing the iconic presence of the brand, while a custom gold finished medallion on a red ribbon serves as a built-in bookmark embossed with the Jumpman logo. So it's not even solid gold. It's just got a gold finish on the top. It basically gold plated. And is it 14 karat gold? What's the rating? And it says each edition also includes an oversized Italian silk scarf. Oh boy. Centered on the Jumpman logo and framed with ornamental motifs and the wings emblem. Housed beneath the book within its own custom box, the scarf reveals 6 golden rings once lifted and homage to Jordan's 6 championship rings. So it comes with 6 rings, I guess. Are they wearable rings? I guess we'll see if it's wearable. But like, are they gold rings? Because it didn't say that they were gold rings. It just says that there's 6 rings. 6 golden rings once lifted in homage to Jordan's 6 championship rings. More than a book, the Ultimate is a collector's artifact that embodies 40 years of greatness, an homage to a legend and a legacy that continues to inspire greatness. Now, before we get into this box, you might say, okay, yeah, you're not gonna spend $2,300 because you broke, because you don't got it. To that, I say, okay, if you want to spend $2,300 on a book that's cost them less than $1,000 to make, then hey, that's on you. I mean, people see value differently. As you can see throughout the entire life, man, we see differently in value for things, and that's okay. That's okay. But I'm not paying $2,300 for a coffee table book. Now there is an alternative option, but I'm not paying $2,300 for it. Care instructions: handle with clean, dry hands. Oh, because it comes with gloves. Always use clean, dry hands when handling your book to avoid transferring oils or dirt onto the pages. Where's the fun in that? The best part about handling a book is filling the pages between your fingers. No kinky shit. But avoid direct sunlight. Prolonged exposure to direct sunlight may cause fading or discoloration of the cover and pages. Okay. Store in a cool, dry place. Humidity and moisture can damage both the paper and binding. Store books upright on a flat surface, always from heat sources. Dust regularly. Use caution when opening. Do not force the spine flat, especially on new books, as this may damage the binding. Keep away from liquids and food. Well, it's a coffee table book. How are you gonna keep it away from liquids and food if it's a coffee table book? I mean, I don't know what people do on their coffee table, but a coffee table is called a coffee table because you sit at it with your coffee and a little snack. But okay. Or beverages to prevent spills and stains. But I guess they're just being cautious and just being covering all of their bases. So let's see. 360 pages. You get 430 illustrations. So you get 438 pictures and 368 pages. It's in English. It releases in October. So sometime this year, if they haven't already started shipping them out. Cover materials enclosed is a leather clamshell. Yeah. I already read that off. And it says total weight is 20 pounds, and the author is foreword by Michael Jordan and text by Adam Bradley. So let's see what it looks like. Okay, so the black case is just a leather bound case with a felt line, like a felt lining. Okay. And somebody's got gloves on when they handle it, and it looks like it comes with gloves. So it says that's the scarf. That might be the Wings poster. Yeah, because it said it's got like the Jumpman logo on there. I don't know. And then this might be the rings. Now, I think somewhere I saw an image of the wings. I'm not sure. Don't get me lying. But I mean, I feel like I've seen a Jordan book of this depth before. It of course it didn't cover 40 years, but I feel like I've seen a Jordan themed book like this before. Okay, so there, okay, yeah, so in that box must be the rings. In that box that I showed earlier, this box right here must be the rings, but I don't know why they wouldn't show the rings. I don't know, I don't understand why they wouldn't show the rings, and I'm trying to figure out where it was that if they didn't show it on Asseline's website, where was it that I actually caught a glance of the rings themselves? I don't know. Maybe you all know. But here's the good news. If you don't want to pay $2,300 for this premium I got money and you don't, Jordan, 40 years of Michael Jordan, they have a classic version, which is just the book for us broke people. And it's $123, which is a little bit more reasonable. I think how much was the Off-White book? How much was the Virgil Abloh book, the green one? I have it. It was what, like 60, 80 bucks? So with 438 illustrations and 380 pages, I guess I can see $123. I don't know. I don't know. For all of my people that are really into books and know more about books, is $123 a good buy for 360 pages and the, I guess, detailing of this book right here. And let me ask y'all, how many of you all are willing to pay $2,300 for that collector's piece book? And then how many of you all are willing to pay $123 for this version? And then how many people are saying that's just ridiculous altogether? It's just a book about Michael Jordan or shoes. Yo, here comes the money. Here comes the money. Shout out from bricks to kicks. Michael will always be the GOAT. LeBron needs to hang it up and go find his kids. Tell them Jay with the $10 dono, man. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you, blood. I appreciate that so much. The official Wild Boy SK said, I saw them books. They got me fucked all the way up. Even for $100, that's insane. Let alone $2,300 for that other one. Oh, okay. So official. So official Wild Boy SK said, man, hell no. That just ain't where it's at. I might cop one of them Virgil books for the living room decor. I think I seen them on StockX for like $60, but over 100, nah. I feel the same way, man. You think them Bread 85s dropping again? If so, what you predict the stock count will be? I'm hoping it doesn't drop. So we're gonna talk about that. But before we get into that, because that was actually going to be my next segment, I was going to actually segue into that, but then I found this from NBC News. I want to show y'all. Brixie Key said, but still $100 for a book. I'd rather go pick up a Bible for free, to be honest. Hey, facts. Amen. That's facts. Because a lot of people ain't, praying and stuff like that. But hey, I'm not here to turn atheists into believers on any level. But it is what it is. So let's just get out of this book here. And let's get into this. Where is it? So NBC News did an interview with Michael Jordan recently, and let me check the date because it just popped up. This aired 2 days ago, October 22nd, 2025. So I'm gonna go ahead and play the video. I might even pause it and kind of chop it up a little bit and try to talk over it a little bit and stuff like that to kind of, keep the copyright bugs away. I'm gonna list NBC as a contributor in the description as well, so they don't jump on my head for that. But this video is 1 minute and 41 seconds, and it says Michael Jordan in a rare interview. I haven't picked up a basketball in years. So he talks about not picking up a basketball, and then he talks about, I believe, the feeling of wanting to actually get back out on the court. So let's see.
Wish I could take a magic pill, put on shorts, and go out and play the game of basketball today.
Wow, so he's got that's gotta be
That's who I am.
That's gotta be
Competitiveness.
interesting. And it looked like he crying. This man is crying. And I'm not saying anything wrong with that, but he's been away from basketball for how many years? Like what? 20 years? Something like that. Or 20 plus years. And he's showing a lot of regret about not being able to play. And from Bricks and Kicks said, did you hear about the dude who got poked with a shard of glass at GameStop over Pokemon card restock in Colma, California? Happened a while ago, but it's still wild even to this day. Now, I didn't hear about that, man. You know what? It's so much foolishness going on. Something like that. I'm not surprised with the way people run up into stores looking for Pokemon cards and beating each other up and stuff like that and knocking people through the actual display stands. Bro, I'm not surprised. I am really not surprised that a bunch of adults act goofy. I'm in so many different collector groups and stuff like that. And if you see, or if you are privy to the conversations that go back and forth between individuals in collectors groups or groups that have something to do with like nostalgia, it's ridiculous, man. I've had several times where I've had to tell grown adults to act like fucking adults. I'm like, y'all are in y'all mid 40s, pushing mid 50s, and you all are arguing about like Pokemon cards, fucking Power Rangers, fucking like Sesame Street stuff, Magic School. Like, it's crazy. But Bricks and Kick said he has a giant ego though. But that is true. Or that is what I heard. Michael Jordan has a big ego. But to walk away from the game, and from what I understand, he kind of walked away from the game on his own terms, but didn't walk away from the game on his own terms. But to be 20 or so years removed from actually playing basketball and still have regrets and say, if you could take a magic pill and get back out on the court, you would. That's got to be torturous. And I can imagine for people who go through this, whether it is acting or singing or sports or something like that, I can imagine how tortured they must feel and how difficult it must make their
challenge myself against what people see as great basketball.
22 years since retiring from the NBA.
Oh, so basically he's saying, and I cut through a lot of the other stuff. Let's see if we can go back. Let me see.
aspect of playing the game of basketball. Being able to, that's that type of competition, that type of competitiveness is what I live for, and I miss it. I miss that aspect of playing the game of basketball. Being able to myself against what people see as great basketball.
Oh, okay. So, of course, apparently Jordan looks at today's game, and he's always had that drive to want to be the greatest. And he looks at today's game to where people are considered great basketball players, and I'm pretty sure he says a lot to himself like, damn, if I could still play, and I could still play at even like the peak of my ability to where he was starting to, downward trend, that I would be a lot better than what people think this good or great basketball really is. And of course, I'm pretty sure it's like the LeBron debate kind of, gets him going all the time. And it's on Cron 4 News. Okay. He said, I'm telling you, the sneaker scalper bros invaded the car market like a fucking cancer. Well, any reseller is going to invade anything. So I can't even say it's just sneakers. It's just like the bad part about reselling that invades everything. And when they left sneakers, they had to go some damn where, and they ran to Pokemon cards. They ran to Labubus. They ran to Pokemon cards and wherever else they could to jump on the hottest trend and gain, quick money. Even fucking Legos, little kids building sets just to make 20 to 30 cluckers above retail. What a huge unemployed move. Yeah, they really kind of fuck up stuff for people, but the stores allow them to do it. So about the mummy phone posits. I saw a couple of pictures about a month ago, but I ain't seen nothing else. I don't think I've heard anything else about the mummy phone posits either. We'll look into it. We'll try to look into it. We got about like 18 minutes left, so with 18 minutes in the game, we'll try to get that in there, and we'll see. He's reliving his crying meme in real time. LOL, man. We can't make fun of it. We can't make fun of the GOAT like that. We got
2 years since retiring.
How many?
Jordan is talking once again.
It's been how long?
I haven't ball in years.
Surprising fans that one of the last times he held the ball was when he rented a house during the Ryder Cup, and the owner asked him for a favor to shoot a free throw for his grandkids. Surprising fans. 22 years since retiring.
It's been 22 years since he retired.
Asked him for a favor.
Come on. And reason being is those kids heard the stories from the parents about what I heard the stories from the parents about what I did 30 years ago.
I hope you switched it.
Absolutely.
These days, Jordan's saying his focus is on his family. Celebrating to this day his 1986 rookie card, selling this week for a record $2.7 million.
Oh, jeez. $2.7 million for his rookie card.
What this is all about is to pass it, pay it forward.
We thank
you. Well, that is crazy. That is crazy. $2.7 million. And like he said, all of those accomplishments and all those things that he did happened 30 years ago. And his rookie card is still selling for millions of dollars. His game-worn shoes are still selling for thousands of dollars or tens of thousands of dollars. We're still going crazy having debates like we have, going back and forth about what shape is better, what we prefer more than the other when it comes to Jordans in the current era. It's all crazy, and it's still not good enough. It's still not good enough. He still has regrets or the drive to want to get back into it and show the kids why their parents are telling them about it. Like that's gotta be maddening. That's gotta be maddening. Now, getting into the official Wild Boy SK was asking about the I was about to say reimagine, but getting into the 85 breads. So this takes me to Twitter. Tony D2 Wild did a video about the breads. So I want you to hear Tony D2 Wild's
these particular shoes. Jordan Brand is said to be re-released. Jordan Brand is about to pull off the biggest finesse of 2025. Let me explain. Back in February, we had the Jordan 1 85 High Bread release. A very exclusive 10,000 pairs, only available at 23 stores, and the sneaker community lost their mind. This is supposed to be a historical, one-time exclusive event celebrating the 40th year anniversary of Jordan Brand and the Jordan 1 bread itself. People were going wild. People were paying up to 4 figures on the resale for these particular shoes. Jordan Brand is said to be releasing this sneaker, the same materials, the same shoe, the same everything. These look pretty much identical from the official images that we see of this shoe compared to the pair that dropped in February. What makes things even worse though is that this pair is actually dropping with 3 sets of laces. This pair only came with 1 extra set of laces. So same shoe, same materials, 3 additional sets of laces, and a general release to the public. This looks like a finesse. However, I'm happy for people out there that are going to be able to get their pairs, but boy, oh boy, you spent resale, I feel sorry for you.
I feel sorry for your mother.
Damn. Not the
What you say about my mama?
Let me know down below.
Not the don't be a menace to South Central. I drink your juice in the hood. I feel sorry for your mama. So, first of all, if you paid 4 figures, anything for this shoe right here, yeah, you was on that stuff. You was on something real that day, because I don't even think these are 4 figures right now. Somebody look on GOAT and StockX and tell me what's the highest resale price for a one of 10,000, supposedly, that's why I put in quotations, for a one of 10,000 Air Jordan 4 bread 85 highs. Because I don't know where they got the, I don't know why, like, we go to believe them stock numbers and any of that, because these ain't numbered. These don't say whatever number out of 10,000. Because normally when the stock supply is that limited, they will number that shit for you. Whether it's 123 of 5,000 or 1,999. I don't know, man. With something that iconic as the bread and that limited, you would figure that they would at least number these all the way to 10,000, and they didn't. I mean, so I don't necessarily believe that it's just 10,000 pairs, but from Bricks to Kick said the highest right now, he said his in a size 13 is 570. So anybody who paid 1,000 plus for the bread 85s is crazy. Now, do I look at it as a finesse? I don't necessarily look at it as a finesse, because even if they do drop these again, I don't believe that it's going to be a lot of pairs, and the price is still going to be high. If they drop for $250, now the real finesse would be if the 85 breads drop for less than $250. If they drop for $250, the resale price is still going to be in the at least $300 to $400 price range. It is what it is. Now, like he said, like Tony said, and looking at this image, I don't know, maybe I'm tripping. Shout out to tripping. Shout out to Tony D2. Wow. But it looks a little bit different. Like it looks a little bit different. Maybe it looks different because mine aren't laced up. But like, hold on, let me see. Let me show y'all the big picture. Like, this looks high. Like, the ankle looks really high on this from this angle, and then it looks low on this bottom angle. So the top angle looks like the made in China pair, and then the bottom angle looks like these pair, the made in Vietnam pair. Because if you all do not know, and I've said this before, there were two different versions of the 85 Bred High in 1985. You had the one where the ankle collar was super high, which is what we were introduced to when they did the first 85. And then we had the 85 version that was made in Vietnam that was like this, which is why when people got these pairs, they were like, it doesn't really look like an 85 high, but if you're going to tell us it's an 85 high, then we're going to believe it. And that's because two different factories had two different versions, and the version that we got in the supposed quote unquote 10,000 release was the Vietnam pair, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it was the Vietnam pair. So maybe just maybe with the current release that's supposed to be releasing sometime this month, maybe we're gonna get the made in China version where the ankle collar is actually higher, but along with, let's see, he said, Fabrizio said, I don't give a shit. I'm gonna wear them occasionally. Yeah, that's true. True, it might be like the J-Pack Chicago Dunk restock back in 2023. It looks softer and more shiny like the regular highs. Yeah, it does. It does, but I think, well, yeah, this does have kind of a matte finish in hand, but I'm thinking that even when they did press release photos for that 85 high, they had a shiny look to it. I don't know. I could be tripping. I don't remember everything. I try to remember as much as I can, but you never remember every single thing. Well, at least not in my case. But maybe it'll be this version of ankle collar, like I said, to give a little bit more variation between the two pairs. But other than that, it's said to come with an extra set of laces. And the extra set of laces is this black lace with gold inlays. I guess that's what you would call it. Gold inlays or gold interweavings and a gold lace aglet on the end. So that is the third lace. Now, if it's going to be the same 85, and the only difference is you get a set of shoelaces with a gold lace aglet, and that's kind of going to be some bullshit. But on that video that Tony did, I saw this, and I don't know the person. So, no disrespect to the person. I don't know their reputation and things like that. But as an individual, I have a right to be skeptical or be a skeptic and question some things. And you all already know that I don't believe in stock numbers. I don't believe in stock numbers, so you know that's a dud for me. But somebody on X that goes by the name of Latin Lover 69 said, so this is wrong. Said Tony's video is wrong. These are also handmade and numbered with a special box. So he said that whatever information Tony dropped was incorrect and that they're supposed to be numbered with a special box. So this is supposedly in accordance to the Latina Lover, in accordance to her, I guess, because Latina is female. She says that they're supposed to be numbered. And Tony said, which pairs are numbered and have a special box? Let me see. Is this the she said the second breads. The second bread release has special lace tips. They're numbered, special box, and all handmade. Well, being handmade is nothing special because Jordans are handmade. Jordans are handmade. So I don't get why that is a point of emphasis. And then Tony asked her, he said, who is putting that information out? And she responded with, also, I'm not saying random shit just to say it. If you know about the Sneaker Community Discord server, you'll see my account there where I've leaked Jordans from 20 days to even months before Z posted them. So basically, he's asking her, where is her information coming from? And her answer to legitimacy is because I said so. So just because you said so, and you posted it in a Discord, which anybody can start a Discord and post shit in. We see it on this channel where a lot of people have posted something and it has not come true. I've regurgitated something that I heard from people that I thought were credible information sources, and it was flat out wrong. So just because you posted some shit in a server and you say so, that means that your information is automatically credible to somebody that does not know you and does not have any proof. I mean, like, if you're such a credible source, you could at least show us proof or imagery of a special box. You don't have to tell us where you're getting your information from, but show us something that we have not seen before that looks legitimate to prove that what you're saying is true. And then Tony said, well, I respect that, but I'll have to wait and see if that ends up to be true. If it is, I'll make sure to give props to you for that. But me personally, I don't believe Jordan Brand would turn around and make another bread that is even more limited. That's a slap in people's faces even more. And someone said handcrafted too. I just don't see it being $250 if it's handcrafted. We will see. Well, to be honest, technically, all of this shit is handcrafted. When somebody sits down at a lathe or a factory and whatever they're doing, stitching it together, gluing it together, all of that, it's a handmade shoe. It's a handcrafted shoe. Even with the assistance of machinery, it's handcrafted because without your hands, it would not be put together in this case. So I mean, that does not, that doesn't make it special. And then the Latina Lover said, unfortunately, it will be a bigger slap. Jordan Brand's perspective here is that them being more limited will make them more special. Yes, a lot of us disagree with that. You can see the leak from several months ago that's public from the source. Special lace tips weren't a lie, but we knew that they are supposed to get special lace tips. That's still not proving that you know exactly what you're talking about when it comes to stock numbers and handcrafted and the shit you're saying. That still doesn't prove you know what the hell you're talking about. So Aviator, and I don't know who Aviator is, and I'm guessing he might be Aviator, aka Mr. Unloved Ones. Now, I think I follow Mr. Unloved Ones on Instagram, and I believe he might be more credible, but I'm not sure. Then again, I'm not sure. I'm still not falling for the stock number shit. I don't know until Nike and Jordan actually come out and give me. I'm not falling for that shit. We've seen it time and time again. That shit just, it doesn't do anything but drive people to spend like ridiculous amounts of money. But Mr. Unloved Ones said, wait, so folks really think this will be a GR? Bet. Also, the only reason they even look slightly different is because of the way they were shot. Okay, so he's saying they look different because of the angles, but he hadn't said anything about the actual numbers, because a limited GR still counts as a GR, but he hadn't said anything about the actual numbers. He hadn't said anything about a special box. He hadn't said anything about like them just being straight handcrafted without machine intervention, as Latina, whatever her name is, has claimed. Now, after he retweeted this, Tony went back and
It's actually worse than what I said. Yesterday, I told you guys that I was dead wrong about the Jordan 185 High brand. And Jordan Brand's finesse is actually worse than what I said. Yesterday, I told you guys they were releasing the same exact sneaker, just with an extra set of laces. A straight cash grab. But new info has just came out, and this changes everything. This upcoming pair, more limited than the 10,000 pairs that just dropped in February. Numbered pairs, a special box, and 2 sets of extra laces. So yeah, I had to correct myself, guys. Jordan Brand is not playing checkers, it's playing chess. And that first 10K drop was just bait. They're not trying to just drop this Jordan 185 High and call it a day. They're trying to make a mythology of this scarcity. So let me know down below in the comment section. Is this just genius marketing or the biggest finesse of 2025? I was dead wrong about.
now, if I were Tony, and I'm not Tony, and I'm not telling Tony what to do, but shout out to Tony, I would not have made a video like this soon, because the time span between the two videos was maybe like a day or two. Latina Lover still hadn't proved the fact that she knew what the fuck she was talking about. And I don't know if Mr. Unloved Ones backed Latina Lover's information up, which is what pushed Tony to like redo his video. But I most definitely would not have like redone that so soon without any solid evidence or proof. That's just me. I'm in a time and day where you can't believe every fucking thing that everybody says about sneaker releases because they're wrong. So to answer the official Wild Boy SK's question about the bread ones, there is a high possibility that they're going to release. Or it might just be some bullshit information, and it might be another reimagined type of brand one that is going to be a general release to make people feel better about missing out on the 10,000 pairs of the Bread 85 highs. You just never know until you know. As far as a release day, the release date is up in the air as well. I think at one point in time, I heard it was supposed to be like October, maybe November-ish, but here we are towards the end of October, and we're still guessing whether they're going to be dropped or not. So I don't know. Now, speaking of 12s, that pushes me into the next segment about the Air Jordan 12 taxis. So I got to speak on this because this is coming up pretty soon. This is around the corner. Next week will be the end of October, and we're going to be heading into the month of November, i.e., the month of the release of the Air Jordan 12 taxis. Now, I am anticipating and have been anticipating the release of the Air Jordan 12 taxis for quite some time, for quite a long time. Is my excitement for the taxis now the same as it was before? No. And that is because, and I know y'all are going to kill me in the comments, that is because they have teased the 12s so much and have not delivered to the point where I am desensitized to hearing about the 12s. Like, I'm at a point where I just really don't care. But I would love to have the Taxi 12s. What is this? Oh, ew. That's nasty. Okay, we'll see this in just a second. But I just don't. It just does not appeal to me like it used to. Again, that doesn't mean I don't want them. It just doesn't appeal to me like they would have before. But the Air Jordan 12 taxis are set to release November 11th. I mean, not 11th. I'm sorry. November the 8th at a suggested retail price of $215. So get all your points ready. Get all your raffle entries ready, because even though I have a relaxed approach to the Taxi 12s, not everybody is going to have a relaxed approach. A lot of people are going to be going for these. A lot of people are going to be going crazy for these. I don't know if this is a year, time, and season of doubling up. I'll let you all decide that in the comments on the live and in the comments below during the after live. Y'all let me know. Is the Air Jordan 12 taxi double up worthy, triple up worthy, however many cop wise worthy? Y'all let me know. Now let's see. Here is something that from Bricks and Kicks, what he said. The taxis are a must. The 12s are a grown man shoe, for real. He said, I need them bad. Now, here's a shoe that's supposed to be releasing at the end of the month, and I believe that it's showing. It's going to show. But here's one that caught my eye, and that falls into that weird category, but also falls in that category for me that is something I gotta have to diversify my collection. But before we get into that, I want to talk about this. I know, oh man, them damn Costco dunks again. Yeah, we're gonna talk about these damn Costco dunks, because these Costco dunks are fire. It doesn't give a date for the release of these Costco dunks, but the Costco dunks come with a membership hang tag. A membership hang tag. Now tell me that's not fire. Tell me that is not cool, that the shoe don't look cool. I know Giganator was like, they're not bad, but they're not great, and this is an easy pass. But I fuck with these. And the fact that, oh damn, they got the Costco insert paper, all of that. Costco insert paper, the Kirkland insole. Kirkland is a Costco brand product. Damn, they look nice. That looks nice. and then the Costco membership hang tag. Who got a Costco membership? I do. Oh, and it says executive skateboarder, Costco.com, NikeSB.com. You know what would be dope is if that membership hang tag gave you some kind of special access to something else within Costco. That would have been pretty fucking cool. From Bricks to Kick said they kind of fired low key. Yeah, man. Yeah. I know I've been trying to kind of like drilling those Costco dunks like low key into everybody's subconscious that they're fire, and I'm just like creating smoke to get a fire going, but it's just my opinion. It's just my opinion. Don't let me push you over the edge. But this is what I was talking about. These are supposed to be releasing next Friday, I believe. It is the Air Max 95 into the 3D. It's a 3D printed Air Max 95. It's called the Air Max 950. What is it? 95,000. I'm sorry, but blind. It's the Air Max 95,000. And it is a 3D printed Air Max shoe. It comes out November 28th. Yeah, that's next week at a retail price of $250. Now, is the shoe worth $250? I don't know. But when it comes to certain forms of forward tech, I'm all for it. $250 is not a bad price. Hell, I paid $250. And I think I paid more than that for them damn Balvin too. So shit, it is what it is. But these are dope. I like the look of it. I like the shape. I like the neon colors. I like the way the neon hits off of the black 3D printed upper. Like, it's dope, man. It's just a dope ass fucking shoe. Let me see, it's got some music. No, it ain't got no music. I just like this shit, man. Oh, that's what the outsole is gonna look like. Oh yeah, it's got that crazy outsole. Is that actually how they applied the outsole to the shoe? That would be crazy. That would be crazy. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Come on now, man. You ain't have to get the bubble of BBL in the video. That's just crazy. I wonder how like the fit for these would be. And yo, that's a dope ass outsole. I like that. That's a dope ass shoe for me. That's a dope ass shoe. But yeah, $250 for the Air Max 95,000 dropping November 28th. I don't know how many of y'all going for that one, or how many of y'all can actually just sit and pass on that. Let me see. What else was it? I think there was something by Sneaker Legal. Yeah, we'll say that for another time. And then because I told Official Wild Boy I would look up the Foamposite mummies. Let me see, because Halloween is next week. Let's see. Foamposite mummy. So these right here. Oh, damn. These are fire. Oh, okay. So it says, sadly, the Oregon Ducks Nike Air Foamposite Pro Mummy Duck will not release to the public. It's staying locked to the team and its athletes. Okay, so yeah, there you go. If that's for the mummy duck, ain't nobody getting it. Let me see. Let me make sure that was what you were asking about. Oh. Yeah, so the mummy phone positives, they're not releasing to the public. It ain't happening. And that was Sneaker Bar Detroit. And the last update, I know I didn't put it up on the screen, but the last update for that one was September 25th. So yeah, apparently, if you want some phone positive mummy ducks, you better talk to a Oregon basketball player because they're gonna be the only ones that's got them. And you know how that is. But with that being said, man, we have been running for 2 hours and 15 minutes. Damn. Goodness gracious. That was longer than what I expected it to be, but a lot of you all came through. Y'all showed out. Y'all showed love. Shout out from Bricks to Kicks for the $10 dono, man. That's gonna go a long way. Y'all just don't know. I appreciate you all for everything you all do for me. Even if y'all don't make any donos, man, I just appreciate y'all for supporting and watching your boy when I go live, especially for today, because the live was so random and sporadic because it's been 2 weeks since I've gone live. So I appreciate you all for coming through, even on such short notice, showing your boy some love. I'm going to try. Don't. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm going to try to be back and available for Tuesday. But if ain't nothing going on, bro, I do not want to just, yap to y'all. As you can see, I have a master's degree in Yaponomics, and I can talk for a while. But yes, I appreciate y'all for coming through. I love y'all. Thank y'all. I cannot leave y'all without saying nothing is impossible. Fight for everything you believe in. Don't let anything stand in your way. And dream hungry. Y'all be safe. Y'all be blessed. Have a great weekend. I don't think there's anything to actually grab this weekend, but be on the lookout. If there is, I'll do it short and quick, simple, sweet live. It won't be forever and a day, and we'll talk about it. But until then, until next time, I will catch you all later. I love y'all. Be safe. Peace. End it.